Oh, I tell you what, we're joined now by the members of Boyzone. We have Mark.
God bless.
Who's doing that? Is that?
God bless.
Oh, yeah, that's. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so Glenn's doing his. You're doing your best Rosa impression. Give us your best Ronan impression.
God bless.
God bless. Please God, you know.
God bless.
Please God. How
are you doing? God bless.
We have Mark, we have Glenn, we have Danny from the script. Welcome to the show, folks.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
can you please say what you were disappointed about before we came? Before we just came back.
I was a bit disappointed that was yourself and not Steve. To be honest, I was a let down. I was
going to say he's have to change
the familiar face of radio over the past 40 years, and then said I got you.
Clearly, what's happened is you've actually gone on the tweet machine and you're just trying to play to the crowd now.
Yeah, exactly what I'm doing.
So how are you keeping, boys? You just
very good.
Just back in from?
Well, just back in from the States after touring, and then on to South Africa, and now back to London for promo getting.
Oh, you're a proper rock and roll.
Promo getting
and
proper rock and roll. I fainted on the plane on the way to South Africa, and we had a photo shoot the day we landed.
What do you mean you fainted?
I fainted, so I'm having a snooze, and they come up to me and they say, "Listen, you know, do you want to be woken for breakfast if you're asleep?" I said, "No, don't wake me." So of course I sleep through breakfast, and then I wake up and I jump up really fast, and I go to the bar where Mark's having a cup of cha, and I say, "Can I get a coffee or whatever? I have some banana." I'm sitting there. Next minute, I just feel my blood pressure just hits the ground. I feel it, and I go, "I better get back to the to me bed," you know. So I just headed for the bed, and gone. I woke up on the floor with Mark over me. "You're all right. Turn your side." I'm like, "What's he saying that to me for?" I was out cold.
His face was completely cut up as well on the way.
He hit his nose. He hit the side of his face, and we landed pretty much. He went off to do a CAT scan, and me and Mark did a photo shoot.
Yeah. You see, you know what I actually think this is. This is basically the first opportunity that you have had to tell this story, so that people don't think you were drunk on the plane.
Exactly.
You're trying to get an official story out.
Exactly. Yeah.
The thing is, I had no drinks, and I felt really shortchanged. Normally, something like that, what precedes it is a really big night out or a binge or something. But there was nothing. I literally just tried to have some sleep, and bang. You know?
See, this is how, Danny, you know that you've made it as a band, because whenever you start and you think, God, it's free fruit, free drink. I'm going to say the fact that you're actually sleeping on a plane now knows that the good stuff happens all the time.
Life's been sweet to us. I'm not going to lie.
And so how's the touring thing been going in the States?
It's gone amazing. We've been touring there for such a long time now. Over the past 6 years, just growing and growing for us. We're now up to playing to 20,000 people a night almost, you know. So it's been absolutely fantastic just getting around the States to that sort of audience. We're only on a bit of a hiatus because we go back again next week to finish the second leg of that tour.
Straight back in.
And you're doing that with One Republic, yeah?
Yes.
And the touring thing in the States, is it my impression, or is it actually cooler than touring here? Because the stuff, when you go to America to start with, even the boring stuff in America, you've got a diner beside a truck stop. You go, this is so American.
Totally.
Whereas here you've got, you know, a little chef on the M6.
In fairness, that is a good comparison. There's two very big differences. One is a lot of the sheds, as we call them, like arenas, about 20,000 people. They're actually all seated. And it's a big difference between the arenas here. The floor is standing. So I find when you're in Europe and you're doing shows around here, it seems to be a bit more manic down on the floor, and the front row seems to be the most energetic because they're the people who queued overnight. You know, they've been waiting to get that front row. Whereas in America, it's actually the opposite way around. So you get a lot of rich people buying up those front row seats, and then they don't show up until, you know, obviously till like 2 minutes before the show. You know, so it's kind of, you're always kind of on the edge of your seat, figuratively and literally. But I'm able to go into the crowd and run around the arena in America. I can't really do that over here. They tear you to shreds. They're a little bit more respectful in America, I'm going to say. A little bit more.
And have you played any gigs on, you know, when you're breaking America, there has to, as an Irish band, it's in the handbook that you have to play a gig on top of the roof of a building. Have you done that?
Thank God you two set that precedent. No, we've avoided it. We did it for Billboard one time, where we had to do a Billboard acoustic session on a roof.
Oh my God, do you remember that in New York? And it was really warm.
It was really warm. It was a really lovely day. And that was really cool, but nowhere as epic as for you two.
I think they just got it. You can't top that, you know what I mean? The way they did that, and the way the video turned out and all. I think if anyone tries that now, it's just like, you're trying to be you too, you know what I mean? So
you just have to move on from that.
We've done it in a few interesting places. We did a show, we did the highest show we've ever done, which was in Colorado, at the peak of a mountain. Now you're already a mile up in the air.
That's right.
There's no air. You know, and our songs, you know, they're not for the faint-hearted. You need a lot of air in those lungs. So
Olympic singing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the other weird thing, whenever you go to the States, you've got this notion of people thinking you have to go there and break America now. So if you're playing Colorado, how often do you stay there, or does the internet machine allow you to come back and forward, and you're still out there, you're still over there?
It is getting
without being over there.
Yeah, it gets a little bit better nowadays because of the internet. But we always say that the only time success comes before touring is in the dictionary, because you have to get on the road.
Write that down. I'm writing that down.
You have to get on the road.
Really good, isn't it? Success before touring
in the dictionary. You gotta do that, because if you don't tour, you just shot yourself in the foot. So we've had to repeatedly go back, grow the audiences. They started off at 200 people and work it up. But we're 6 years doing that, and fortunately, we've had records that have really worked over the years.
Planet America. I mean, every state is like its own little country, basically. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're only getting kind of built up in one place. You go to another, nobody knows who you are. So it's taken us what 6-7 years now to get to where we are, and there's still loads of ground to make up.
I've also just noticed that Mark, you're sporting a massive bit of bling there. That's very Liberace.
That is my wedding ring, and I've lost a little diamond out of it, which I'm a little ashamed of.
Yeah, you see,
I somehow managed to get a diamond.
Yeah, he's got a diamond too.
And the story of that is called touring.
He punched me in the face, and his diamond lodged right in my tooth.
We're going to play the new single. It was out
brilliant
today.
Yeah.
Our producer gave me the single on Friday.
Brilliant.
And he said, "No, you can't give this to anybody."
Yeah.
I said, well, like, who am I going to? I'm going home. I'm like, what? No, but it's embargoed till Monday.
Yeah.
So this, I think this is the second play.
This is going to be the second play. Yeah, absolutely.
Who got the first?
Grimmy.
Oh yeah, there you go. No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm just saying he got up earlier than.
That has to be that. Now, you know that at the start of the interview, whenever Danny said he was a bit disappointed that Steve Wright wasn't coming in, he actually just turned around to me there and he said, "Paddy, that's the end of the song." Hey, and
you were about to launch into a story, and I was just looking at you.
He wasn't the time. I was watching.
Oh, were you looking at the time?
I was looking at the time there.
I'm just saying.
Hang on,
he's before.
I'm trying to make you not look bad in front of Steve.
No, do you know what I feel?
Than Steve.
Do you know what I feel like now? I feel like one of those Uber drivers that's not really a driver, but he just rents me car out and goes, that's right. And you're looking at me going, does this fella know how to drive at all?
Backseat Uber driver, nothing worse.
Backseat Uber driver. I am loving the script on BBC Radio 2. The Irish accent is just sublime.
Nice.
We it is ourselves.
It's making me go, none of us are actually from Ireland. No. We just put it on for the
It is. That's what we say all the time.
I'm from
Peckham. You get away with murder because of it.
You boys live out in Ealing though, don't you?
Close to, not exactly in there, but
you're out in West London.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a theory that if you're from basically the first nice neighbourhood that you get to when you arrive in London, that's where you stay. So if you're from the north of England, you come down the M1, you end up in Primrose Hill. If you're from Ireland, you get to Heathrow, and you just drive in and go, oh gee, this looks nice.
First nice place. There you go.
So tell me, how difficult is it to sit on a record like this? You know it's a belter. You know it's there. How long ago did you do it? What's the deal with that?
We've probably been sitting on the song, I think, for about 5 months now. It was a song, one of the single choices that came on pretty early on. We'd been out on tour, as you said, with One Republic, but we brought a studio bus out with us, so we had a recording studio on the tour bus. Amongst other things, we had smoke machines, few lasers. It turned into a nightclub at night time, bit of a transformer. But we wanted to take the energy from performing for 20,000 people every night and then put that into the song. So Superheroes was one of the ones that I think really encapsulated what we do live, and it was really, really nice to have that in the bag at an early stage in the album as well, because all we wanted to do was try and beat that out. So the rest of the quality of the songs, I think, was coming at it, if not there, just slightly below or slightly above, but it seemed as a great lead-off single and a great foot to step forward with.
So what you're saying is you put a studio in the bus.
Yes.
To record the
whole album while we're on tour.
While we're on the move.
While we're on the road.
And one thing you do learn when you do that is you learn what the 2 words emergency brake stand for. Because we were coming off going onto the motorway, and luckily we weren't on the motorway when this happened, but we were literally having one of those nights where we're just jamming out, having a little buzz, you know, getting some ideas down.
We were actually in mid-recording at the time.
Yeah, you have to send us the recording of that. He had his phone out recording just us jam, because sometimes something will pop and you go, oh, that was interesting. And next minute the emergency brake kicked in at 60 miles per hour as we were coming onto the motorway, and it was just, you want to hear that. When we played it back, it was so funny because it's just hear gear flying, and then you said a one-liner. I think you
marked that was the right. No, at least that was in key. Or that was
you
right
said
notice.
that. Yeah, it was that one, or that's the key I was talking about, or something. It was something funny. He said it was just the timing was perfect, but the actual emergency brake went off, and we were all like, "What the hell?" We convinced we'd hit something. And the driver,
everyone went. I went through 2 doors. The guitar went all over the place.
We broke some instruments, but it was lucky that there wasn't a bus behind us, you know, or something behind us, because it would have smashed straight into us.
Yeah. So how does it work, lads? Does Danny sit at the front of the bus with the swivel seat with his back to you?
I keep it all balanced with my head and the size of it. I kind of keep down. Everybody's down the back, so you need something to balance off the bus.
And then you guys come up with the song ideas.
Yeah.
And if he
turns around or not,
he turns right.
It's difficult, and sometimes he doesn't turn around, and then when he doesn't turn around, it gets really weird.
And he does that thing.
It gets very awkward when
there's times I wonder, is he even on the chair at all? And I'm looking at the chair, just at the back of the chair, and thinking, are you still there, Danny? Are you still on the chair? No, he's not on the chair anymore. He's left.
And he's looking at you, going, Glenn, that song has something. And I quite like your voice, but you know, it just wasn't for.
Exactly. And then he pulls the emergency brake, and we all go that way.
How much ripping have you given this man for being on a TV show? Because if you're in a band and somebody's on a TV show, like I'm assuming that there's a reasonable.
Well, I had
banter.
I had fun. I had fun while he was doing the show. I had a lot of fun because he was on The Voice. I created a show on the Twitter called The Mouth, and all the mouth was
everything I couldn't say. I'm on BBC and I curse a lot. But he was able to basically say every possible thing I wasn't able to say.
So I was literally, you know, I was being slagging him off while he was on TV.
You're going, what he really means.
Exactly.
And he had this thing called the trapdoor, and if you didn't like him, it was like, trapdoor, a trapdoor. It's classic.
And so with something like that, when a band member goes on a telly show, is that a good thing, or does it take him out of the mix, Glenn, or is it nice to have him back?
It's great to have him back, of course. It takes him out of the mix a little bit, obviously, because you know, he's such a genius that he is. But it was good for us because at that point, I think in our careers, we were kind of a faceless band, and we knew there was an opportunity there to put a face to the band, which unfortunately meant for Dan he had to sacrifice his anonymity to
his face,
to some degree. But it didn't hurt us. It helped us. I think for him to do it again wouldn't help us any more than it did. It did the job that we needed it to do. Danny also won it, and I think why not, you know, leave it on a good note, as some people would say. And it was time to. I know he was eager to get back to band business, and we definitely, you know, we couldn't take on certain things internationally.
And you were at that point where America was calling again.
Yeah, there was loads of commitments coming in, and it was just getting ridiculous. But you know, sometimes you can overstay your welcome anyway. And as a band, it was a band decision to kind of go into the show. Fortunately, Danny took that on himself and had to take all the work on. Done 2 seasons, and I think he himself felt it was time to go back to music.
Yeah.
And so with all of this going on, then, is there any time to get back to Dublin at all, or what?
Yeah, when Danny was doing the show, we were we were in the studio as well. Like, there's always a bit of free time to jump back, and it's only 40 minutes on the plane, as you know.
Yeah.
So when I get a chance, I jump on the plane and go back. But any chance I get, I go home. I mean, that I class Dublin as my home, though I spend a lot of time here. But I get back quite a bit.
I've been out of the whole year. I've probably been about 6 months there this year. And then just kind of gone back and forth because now the obviously promos kicking up and stuff.
Yeah, promo again.
So yeah.
And I believe you're doing a few nights in Croke Park in Dublin. I believe there's a few free nights.
Yeah, we're doing 5. Yeah, we're doing 5 nights.
Come up.
Yeah. It's just 7 nights.
People want us to wear a cowboy hat for some weird reason. I don't know why.
Why do 5? I want to do 7 nights and cause a real problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just been asked to wear like a big fat suit and sing Gareth Brooks songs for 5 nights in a row in Dublin. I don't know why
that happened.
No idea
it all
why.
Became about the controversy over what happened with that gig as opposed to it being about music. Just go play somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? Do the 5 nights out in what's the Punchestown, go out there.
Yeah, head out to the racecourse and do it there.
Do you know what I mean?
So when are you guys going to be playing Croke Park? You're doing the small tour now in the arenas. When are we going to see you guys out in the open air doing your stuff?
2015. Yeah, 2015. I think all going well.
We're going to do
the album
big.
Is a success. We've got a lot of plans for in Dublin. when we put the album out, but also we've got an extensive, it's the world tour, you know, it's going to be the Scripts No Sound Without Silence World Tour 2015.
And apparently in Dublin they're playing 5 nights, or they're playing none at all.
Yeah, exactly.
The single is Superheroes. It is out now, lads. Continued success, and thanks for
thank
coming.
you so much.
Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it.